From all the things I can witness when it comes to a team projected to be a contender, a change into the NBA, rough patches. Winning 6 out of our last 11 games is rough patches. Nothing. We lost 6 out of our last 11. We've only won twice. We haven't been shit since Christmas. Guys, I'm keeping a thou wow with you. Have we gotten worse? Because I've publicly addressed over the pressure of bringing in Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks because it would be a win-win scenario. We get a legitimate dominant piece that can hold over with championship experience over the expense of losing an actual unit and losing some depth because of our first-round picks we sacrificed over to get Mikal Bridges. So, I can take back my statements, right? Because if we're looking over the last, give or take several games we've played involving the New York Knicks, we have been absolutely miserable when it comes to analytics around the board, if we're not counting offensive production. Because other than plus minus, we've tried our best to integrate a dominant team when it comes to three-point shooting, trying to kick out, thread the needle on the perimeter defending, put OG Anunoby, I think I remember one steal. The Dallas Mavericks was the last team on my bucket list to even get a loss this season. And we were shooting from from the left side of the wing over the corner 3-point line, 0 for 24. Towns only made one shot off his little back foot 3-pointer he chucks about. We weren't even getting corner threes. And then when we weren't making corner threes, Mavericks push over the gas pedal without D'Angelo Russell or any noticeable face because most of them are injured or DNP'd. They get a first time bucket on transition because OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are looking over their blind side with their shoulders squared, flat-footed, backpedaling in the middle of transition. What part of that looks like it's smart defense? Mike Brown be on some bullshit when it comes to half-assing on transition plays when that's what offenses want in the current NBA. And I can give a damn that Karl Anthony Towns led with 18 boards. I can care less. I want at least a third of that being offensive rebounds. I know Karl Anthony Towns is predominantly an offensive-centric player. So I can give two shits genuinely that Towns has 18 boards and majority of them are possibly defensive. We're not getting second chance points. Analytics even say we were even struggling on a second chance points. If we're having Brunson chuck over floaters and we're playing like 2023 Dallas Mavericks in the NBA championship. We were pissing down our leg then. We're pissing down our leg now when it comes to hustle plays. And them actually maximizing their points in a row at 13. We were still 5 minutes into the first quarter, guys, and I swear we were still in single digits. And the Dallas Mavericks, if anybody hasn't been focusing on the Dallas Mavericks, I can understand. They've had an issue due to Kyrie Irving's injury, where he's out for all of the season. And then over the cusp, over in the middle of the season, trying to transition with, his struggling trade stock, Anthony Davis. So it's Najee Marshall, Max Christie, first overall pick, Cooper Flagg, Moses Cisse, a washed 36-year-old Klay Thompson, Brandon Williams, Ryan Nembhard, the worst Nembhard, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Caleb Williams, Dwight fucking Powell, and the most he did was get nut checked like 3 times by Karl Anthony Towns because he's zesty like that. And I fucking hate Dwight Powell. I'm still shocked how he still keeps an NBA job to this day. I know he's better than the average individual, but I really don't see the importance of him on this Maverick squad. And Jaden Hardy played around 2 minutes and nearly scored a bucket off an assist. Most of the time we're just miscommunicating on set offensive plays, and we're letting Cisse get a lob into the basket. Robinson Earl get a lob over to the basket. Max Christie led with 26 points today. Brother went like what? Brother went 8 for 10 from behind the arc. Najee Marshall had a between the legs step back 3. Cooper Flagg was killing it over on transition ball. While like figures 13, but has 5 offensive rebounds put over to points. And Mitchell Robinson was only playing around like 22 minutes. 12 minutes. And we know majority of his impact is involving just getting boards off 12 points. And I expect more over Josh Hart. But the way we were just letting the Mavericks score off open play, we weren't even fighting for letting them go into the ball. And we were supposed to be better offensively. How do we have under 100 points of offense against a Mavericks team that's possibly tanking? I need explanations. I deserve explanations because I can excuse losses against teams that are battling for playoffs. We're still a 3rd seed, so it shouldn't be stressful, but I am saying this honestly. We should not be comfortable. We should not be comfortable, bro. Being a Knicks player shouldn't be comfortable all because you're a top seed. Even Jason Tatum, and people were shitting on him for being like, all because we're playing the Charlotte Hornets on a Thursday on NBA League Pass doesn't mean we shouldn't sleep on them. That's the type of mentality that I need. I know Jason Tatum, they consider Jason Tatum corny because he rips off lines from legends that he's inspired by. Like, that's something bad to think of. Warriors, we lose after Draymond Green took off Karl Anthony Towns' legs. With the coach even siding with the opposing team because he won the championship with them years ago. Sacramento Kings, bro. We barely beat the freaking Trailblazers after a game winner. And the Clippers. We lost to the Suns twice. The Pistons, we got outplayed. The Sixers, we got outplayed. And even the Atlanta Hawks. And I think this is the time they lost Trae Young to the Washington Wizards. We're an abysmal basketball team. We've only won 5 out of our last 6. The majority of the time we're either losing to struggling against lottery teams, play-in teams, and teams that shouldn't even have a business being in the conversation because the Warriors are already in trade talks. So this is BS. I expect more. We should be facing off against Brooklyn. That's supposed to be the 21st, so around Wednesday, and mopping the floor with them, and then try to pick up momentum against the 76ers that are only 5th in the Eastern Conference. So I don't want to hear it when it comes over to over-exaggerating. People are over-exaggerating that they finally exposed the Oklahoma City Thunder after they lost to the San Antonio Spurs twice. And then they lost over their last 3 to 4 games, and then they put over pressure to the Warriors, but they're still the best team in the NBA. Losing to one of the best young players in the NBA out of Wembanyama is nothing to be ashamed of. And now we're losing to teams that has to figure stuff out like the Warriors that now put Jonathan Kuminga in the trade block. The Suns, I don't think Jalen Green's back yet. It has been the highest performing player that people even consider a conversation on the Phoenix Suns is Dylan Brooks in a washed-up Warriors team. And we can't even beat the freaking Sacramento Kings. that was formerly coached by Mike Brown with his half-assed ISO play offense, lack of depth, and poor pressure to get back on defense. Nigga, we lost the pressure of Sachua. Enough said. The last thing that the Knicks should be getting, all because they're a top seed now instead of battling for lottery balls, they should be having expectations of getting in on themselves, arguing on the bench, picking up on one another's. I don't mind if teammates fight amongst one another if it shows that they are focusing on the betterment of the team. And I don't think the Knicks are with that. I'm already witnessing my Niners getting eliminated from playoffs. And we punched above our weight this season with the injuries that we've had. But the Knicks, with majority of us not even having much of an injury crisis per se, it's always been an identity crisis, how we want to systemate our offense, and it feels like it's always got to be this, or the coach that, or another excuse. When's the excuse going to end? I don't want to be the Buffalo Bills of the 2020s. To finally turn stuff around, it feels like we still haven't made an adjustment to get over the hump. But tell me how you guys feel down below. You think it's an over-exaggeration of the Knicks to finally turn it around? Or this is just a setback? I understand it's only the new year. But this shouldn't be tolerable losses that we can accept. A 4 to 5 game losing streak doesn't kill a top seeding team. But terrible effort when some of these games are not even going up down the ladder, especially against a team like the Dallas Mavericks, where we're getting guys that possibly not a lot of the NBA audience even heard before, like Max Christie, picking up a career record amount of three-pointers, like Steph breaking the record back when he was in the Garden. That's something I cannot tolerate. That's it for me over in the DC show. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to take my Tylenol.